Elite claim weekendly so respond. Gazer. Chris Brown type isn't just a preference. From Queen Choma. I hope I said that right, Mike. I hope I did, man. I'm sorry, Queen. Queen Chama, A. Queen Chama, A. She the one that always stay poppin', A. Flow crazy and it got my head bobbin', A. My nose up to you Jones lookin' snotty, A. Brown skin cascade down. Hey, this is crazy though. Like I wonder what she's really gonna talk. Like, oh, hold up, I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes. Boom, I'm back.
So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chama Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're gonna be talking.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. Karuche. I think I've seen it in what is it called, Bel Air? Yeah, that's where I seen her from.
About Chris Brown and this conversation that keeps coming up about his type and whether or not people are just overreacting or if there's actually something deeper going on. And the reason why this is even being brought back up right now is because Chris Brown was recently under an Instagram video commenting fire emojis under a girl who, let's be honest, looks very, very similar to Karrueche Tran, and that immediately triggered people to start having the same conversation with Karrueche Tran, and that immediately triggered people to start having the same conversation we've been having for years about the kind of women.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really want to see what the problem is with like having a type like that ass. I just want to like pick like get some points. What do they really mean? Like, of course, is it wrong for a nigga to have a type?
Gravitates towards. And whenever this topic comes up, there's always that one group of people that jump in and say, it's just a preference, let it go. And I'm not gonna lie, I really hate when people say that because it feels like you're trying to simplify something that clearly has layers. Yes, people can have a preference. Nobody is arguing that. But when your preference is paired with certain comments, certain actions, and a very obvious pattern over time, it stops feeling like something harmless and starts feeling like something that needs to be addressed. So I've broken this video down into
oh shit, so it's that bad? I mean, shit, I'm gonna like it because I really want to see what she gonna
three main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Hi everyone, it's Queen Chama and I have something to share with you today. In Nigeria, over 37 million women and girls experience period poverty.
I'm sorry, Mike. This ain't for me. This ain't for me. I'm sorry.
When a preference starts looking like a pattern. So first, let's talk about this whole preference conversation because I feel like people use that word as a shield so they don't have to think any deeper. Yes, you can like what you like. Nobody is forcing you to date outside of what you're attracted to. Yeah. But where I personally start to question things is when the preference is also consistent, that it excludes a very specific group of people every single time. And then on top of that, there are situations.
It's that deep? Shit. Now my nigga can't even like girls now, my nigga. Like, goddamn, if I date black girls every time, my nigga, I'm gonna be in trouble. It's a pattern? Like, what are we talking? Bro, I'm so confused right now. Like, dead ass. Like, what is wrong with Chris dating what he wants to date? I'm genuinely confused.
Situations where that group is not just excluded romantically, but excluded socially as well. When you look at Chris Brown's dating history from Rihanna to Karrueche and beyond, there is a very clear visual type. And again, if that was all it was, I don't think people would be digging into it this deeply. People date who they date all the time, but it doesn't stop at just who he dates. And even with this most recent situation, it didn't just go viral out of nowhere. A user online literally commented on the girl's video and said, "Don't let Chris Brown see this." Then Chris Brown actually did end up seeing it and commented the fire emojis. Even Bow Wow, another artist, jumped in and commented something along the lines of, "You need to be stopped," or "You must be stopped."
I tell y'all, I don't know if I'm ever growing my hair back out. Because what?
Can you blame him though? I mean, look at this fine ass woman, man. Can you blame him though?
What? Like, be prepared to be sick of me. Be prepared to be sick of me because Exactly.
Underneath that joke was the same conversation people have been having about his type, about Karrueche, and the kind of women he tends to go for.
Karrueche.
So people weren't just reaching, they were reacting to something they've already noticed over time, right? There have been multiple allegations and stories over the years about how he has treated women that don't fit that look. And one of the most talked about ones was when a woman came out and
okay, now you're going somewhere. Queen Chama, now you got me hooked. Now you got me hooked. That's what I fucking wanted. Because it seemed like we were only attacking this nigga because of his type. It's okay to have a type. But if you date someone of a different type and you treat him differently, that's where we looking at you like, nigga. Like, okay,
said that Chris Brown allowed all of her friends into a section, but singled her out and allegedly said, no dark-skinned women allowed. No.
Oh my
darkies
God.
allowed.
Most disrespectful thing a black guy has ever said to you as a black girl?
Child, I got this one. I was 26 years old, standing in line at a very exclusive Los Angeles club. I live in Los Angeles, and I was with two light-skinned girls and one white girl. And we're walking into the club, and a very famous R&B singer, okay, walked up to me and looked at my girl and said, "You can get in, you can get in."
Wait, Chris is Arabic? I didn't know that.
But no darkies. I kept walking because I was like, huh? He's like, I said no darkies. And I was literally escorted off the property. Let's just say in that particular day, my dating preferences completely changed. And I just want to say to him, look at me now.
Chris Brown has refused to apologize after being accused of refusing to let black women into one of his after parties in the UK. It all started when a group of girls posted on TikTok about their experience of trying to get into a Chris Brown after party.
We were supposed to go and see Chris Brown. We got there was thousands of girls lining up there, like thousands of girls, and they're not getting in. And we were supposed to be on the VIP guest list. I will give you guys a what's it called? Proud name, proud whatever. They forgot to tell us black girls ain't allowed.
These are beautiful women. These are beautiful. Okay. CB might have a problem I didn't know about.
No black girls allowed.
They're literally handpicking these
no
white girls.
Black girls allowed. No black girls allowed. What do you guys have to say?
London, you are my life. Yeah. Chris Brown, what happened to Chris Brown, man?
Later on, another girl tweeted and said I was not allowed into a Chris Brown after party, and I was told I was too dark to get inside. I'm absolutely disgusted. How can he be allowed to treat his fans like this? After this all unfolded, Chris posted a video.
He came to South Africa, so I don't know.
Of himself with some
I mean, let me stop dick riding this nigga, man. I'm not even dick riding. I'm just saying, let me stop defending him.
Girls in the club, and captioned it saying he has black queens all around him. Chris later responded to an Instagram comment about this, and said I refuse to apologize for this. People are making up lies about me to get clout. This topic is being heavily discussed, as some people do not believe Chris, and people think he's intentionally trying to exclude some people from getting close to him. One fan wrote on Twitter saying, I cannot forgive Chris for this. He's treated his fans horribly. I cannot move on from this. I never will. Another fan said Chris has had a history of treating dark-skinned girls badly, and I've had enough of it. He can keep lying, but I will never believe him. And finally, one fan actually defended him and said I think it was just a mistake in the mix-up. Chris can't control who security let in, and he definitely wouldn't have let any girls be treated this way if he knew about it. So it seems the fans are 50-50 on
right, some of y'all niggas think you know these people, bro. You don't.
whether or not they support and believe Chris. Chris has a very dedicated fan base. They've stuck through him after huge controversies, so I doubt he will face any consequences if this does turn out to be true.
So my thing is, you're not even dating these women. You're not even choosing a girlfriend in that moment. You are literally just deciding who is allowed to stand near you, who is allowed to exist in your space, and you still made a decision to single somebody out based on how they look. That doesn't really encompass attraction. Like, I don't think it's about that anymore. I think that's a mindset. And I hate when people try to act confused about what's going on in these situations, because we're not dumb, right? If there are 5 girls standing there and 4 of them fit a certain look and one doesn't, and that one gets excluded, we can clearly see what the difference is. You don't need someone to spell it out.
I now get it now. There is a difference between a preference and a type. It's kind of like saying I prefer white woman over dark. That's a preference. But your type can be big ass and big T. You know what I mean? And a white woman can have that. I'm not saying they don't, just like, making an example. Black women can also have that. So if the other race has it, they're your type. That doesn't, unless like you're saying, I prefer black women with big and big, you know, that's where it's preference. But a type, I can say big and big, whether what race it is, Latina, Espanol, Latina, Espanol, same thing. Latina, Mexican, that's the same thing. Latina, I keep saying Latina. White, black, Latina, light skin, Indian, it don't matter. Black, African American, white American, Native American, Mexican, African, Hispanic, African, whatever it is, as long as they have that type you're looking for, whether it be a characteristic or a physical, yeah, you know what I mean, or yeah, you get what I'm saying.
For you. So when people jump in and say, oh, it's just a preference, it's like, okay, but how does your preference extend to who you won't even stand next to? That's where it starts to feel a little bit deeper than just dating choices. And then when you add in the fact that this is not a one-time conversation, this has been brought up about him multiple times over the years, it starts to look less like a coincidence. And
okay, I think that she makes a good point. If people keep saying it, it must be true. It has to be true. It must.
More like a consistent pattern in how he views women. Now, moving on to point number 2, the things he has said out loud. Now, let's get into what he's actually said, because this is the part that really makes it hard for people to keep using the preference excuse. Chris Brown was on a song, can't remember the name of the song, it was years ago, but I know I did a video on it, where he said he only wants to sleep with black women with the quote unquote good hair. And that one line alone opened up a whole other conversation, because now we're not just talking about skin tone, we're
only want to put bitches in nice hair. So you saying other women don't have nice, bro? He might be colorism, racism. He might be colorist.
Talking about hair texture, features, and all of these layers within black women that already have a long history tied to bias and discrimination.
Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I noticed that a couple of YouTubers have done videos about Chris Brown, and I actually saw an article today about some lyrics that Chris Brown put out recently in this new song that he has, and it's caused a lot of controversy. People are saying that he disrespected black women. Basically, in this song that he has with Lil Wayne and this other rap artist, he says that he only wants to fuck black bitches with nice hair. He says that in addition to some other sexually explicit type of lyrics directed towards black women, objectifying black women. But the controversy doesn't focus on the fact that he called black women bitches, or doesn't focus on the fact that he objectifies black women. It's focused on the fact that he said that he wants black women with nice hair. First of all, a lot of times when people are saying nice hair, they're talking about hair that doesn't resemble African hair or West African hair. Hair that's quote unquote not nappy, that's not kinky, hair that is straight and long, resembling white people's hair. Because a lot of us have been programmed to worship whiteness and to view the white woman as the standard of beauty. That's the reason why you have a lot of black men that prefer.
I used to think like white women are the most beautiful shit in the world. Until, with the time as I grew up, I was like, hold up a minute, man. Bro, y'all can say whatever you want to say. Have the Mexican, Latina, Italian, Arabian, Ararian, whatever it is you want. But I'm going to tell you, bro, there is something about a beautiful black woman that you can't explain it. Whether it be the short hair, the afro, whether she want to wear it. Bro, I'm telling you, damn girls are different, man. Something about a beautiful black woman. You can call it, yeah, I'm glazing it. It's my race. I'm black, bro. There's something about a black woman that is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like just dark skin, glowing skin. Nigga, what else would you want in life? I'm telling you.
Black women with long straight hair because they've been indoctrinated through the media and through other propaganda to basically idolize whiteness and white-like features, European type of features. So these same people that want the women with the nice hair, you know, quote unquote nice hair, also want the women who are very light, you know, damn near white. And this is a reflection of that self-hatred that permeates our community, that it has infected our community. And this is just yet another reminder that those chains of psychological slavery remain on our mind.
It is kind of slavery.
These types of statements coming from somebody as popular as a Chris Brown just reinforce that and perpetuate that self-hatred among our sisters. Another point is this, I mean, his disrespect of black women is nothing new. I mean, the fact is people are focusing on this hair issue, but it even goes deeper than that. I mean, this is a guy who's referring to black women as bitches and stuff. And this is common in hip hop and R&B and stuff. You have this all the time. So again, this is nothing new with Chris Brown and these rap artists, you know, and despite all this disrespect of black women, period, you know, it's black women that come out to support this guy. It's black women that buy his records or
I don't see niggas doing crazy ass pics with this nigga Chris. It's y'all. That you see? You see? I don't know why girls like the bad guy. Honestly, I don't get it. Bro, this is what shows you. Bro, the bad guy will always win, man.
You know, download his music, go to his concerts. And it's like, if black women truly want to be taken seriously, they need to stand up against these artists that disrespect them.
And what gets me is that
he literally came into Africa and this nigga had bitches going crazy. I remember one time this girl was mad at me. Well, I should have, well, if you had money, you would have taken me to South Africa and would have watched the Chris Brown concert. Bitch. Like, and he's saying lyrics like this about black women. What about you, an African, like you have known, like, and this nigga, ain't he black too? Like, what are we doing?
People will hear something like that and still try to defend it like it just slipped out. No. You sat down,
intentional.
You wrote it, you recorded it, you approved it, and it made
That's what I'm saying. This nigga had to, he probably repeated all like, oh yeah, say that verse again. I like black bitches with the nice hair. Oh, come on, I need to say it Neil nicely, man. I like bitches with the black hair with the nice hair, whatever the fuck he said, man. You know?
Onto a released song. That is intentional. I feel like that's sending like dog whistles like, hey, if you black and you got kinky hair, don't even come by me. And when you say things like that, you are very clearly communicating that even within black women, there's a specific type that you...
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Is this... no, I thought it was, oh, what's her name? Ash Cash?
Value more than others, because you really didn't have to say that on the song. So now we've moved from colorism into texture bias and featureism, and all of that exists in the same conversation, whether people want to admit it or not. And to me, the craziest part is that black women have been some of Chris Brown's biggest supporters since the beginning of his career. Chris Brown was that guy growing up, right? Girls had his posters on their walls. His songs were ringtones. He was the heartthrob for a whole generation of young black girls and teenagers. So when you look at that support and then compare it to some of the things that he has said or has been accused of doing, it feels disrespectful, but it also feels kind of dumb that people like still support him, right? And this isn't even just a Chris Brown thing. We've seen similar situations play out with other celebrities. Look at DaBaby and Danny Lee with the whole yellow bone is what he wants situation. I don't think that came out of thin air. That came from something that was said or reinforced behind the scenes. But now I can commence the dragging because she will be dragged.
Yellow bonus, what do you want? What do you want? Yellow bonus, what do you want? What do you want?
So Danny Lee, who is an R&B singer, and I spoke about her a few weeks ago on my channel. Okay. She made a new song called Yellow Bones, That's All He Wants. First things first, the song is dumpster fire, thunderstrike, you trash, okay? Trash, garbage trash. I thought it was a parody. I thought it was a joke. I thought maybe it was just a song for TikTok. I don't understand how someone could take their studio time and the money that you spend at the studio to go into the studio and record such a horrendous song, because at the end of the day, regardless of what the song is talking about, the song itself is just trash. The beat, the vocals, the ad-libs, every part of it is just not good, okay?
God
Nothing
damn.
compared to her actual songs that are actually good. I really did not know if it was a joke at first, but even if it was for TikTok or whatever,
didn't
it's
even know
still
who the
ass,
fuck
okay?
she
It's still
was.
booty as hell. It reminded me of the 23, 24, 25. Like, I thought it was a joke, for real. Like, it definitely sounds like a parody of a Travis Scott song or something. Now, for obvious reasons, this is very problematic. What she's saying is Yellow Bones is all he wants. In 2021, you would think by now the collective...
Yeah, let's go back to
So
CB.
now let's zoom out a little bit, because this conversation is, again, bigger than Chris Brown. He's just one of the most recognizable examples. The reason why people keep bringing this up is because it ties into a larger issue about how Black women are treated, especially by men who come from the same community. And I want to be clear, this is not just about forcing anybody to date anybody. That's not realistic, and that's not the point, okay? The point is respect. You can have your type, you can have your preferences. I really don't think a lot
That's what respect though.
of Black women actually care at the end of the day. We just notice it and we're like, okay, we just gonna move accordingly. You know, it's not that deep. But why does having your preferences have to come with comments or actions that make it clear that you don't value a certain group? I think that's where people start to question, and that's that disconnect. And over the years, I think a lot of Black women have picked up on that and started moving differently. Like I said, I don't think Black women are as race loyal as they used to be. And I think that shift came from observing patterns like this over and over again.
And I don't
And
blame
we
you.
like, okay, go be with your preferences, because they don't get any
He like, I don't know, bro. Like, look at her, she's fucking beautiful, but you know, he ended up, I don't know, fucking over, she fucked him up. I don't know what the fuck what happened. I'm not a fucking Chris Brown like fan, like, but I do fuck with him sometimes.
preferential treatment. Just because you're lighter skinned or multiracial with a certain hair type does not mean that you're going to get the best man. Honestly,
Facts.
I've seen the complete opposite.
Look at Lotto.
Like, it's very interesting that when you actually look at how some of these men treat the women that they quote unquote prefer, it's not even something to envy. We've seen situations like Shannon Sharp end up in messy public legal situations, and it makes
Facts.
people sit back and say, okay, so is this what comes with that? Like, we really have to question. Like, I mean, did Cardi B get a better guy when she got with Stephon Diggs? No. Did any of these women who are so-called preferences get any special treatment? No. Like, so I mean, have your preference, you know, leave us out of it, but it's still an observation. But I also want to bring up, with the Chris Brown and Usher tour that is coming up, and with tickets being as expensive as they are, a lot of the audience is going to be the same women that these conversations revolve around, and it raises a real
That's
question
a Chris Brown and Usher tour. I didn't
about
even know
support.
about that.
Why are you pouring into someone who has repeatedly shown you how they view you? And I already know there are going to be people in the comments saying that Black women should only worry about the men that actually like them, and I do get that argument to a certain degree. I
But
do agree
stop
with it. I don't
attacking
think a
them.
lot of Black women are actually sitting around checking for Chris Brown in that way, to be honest. A lot of women support him because of the music, because of the nostalgia, because he really is a great performer, and people do separate the art from the artist. His tour with Usher is probably going to be full of Black women, and that's just the reality. People are going to spend their money how they want to spend their money, and
Not
I'm not
mine,
here to
girl.
tell anybody not to. I love Chris Brown's music too, but that doesn't mean
Same.
the conversation should be shut down. You can
It
enjoy the
goes
music and
like-
still acknowledge the patterns. You can support the art and still question the person. The whole point of this video is not to tell anybody who to like or who not to like, but it's actually to break down the difference between a real preference and someone who has shown through multiple moments over time that there might be deeper biases there. At the end of the day, people
You
are paying
might be
attention more than they
colorist.
used to, and they're not just brushing things off anymore. I went to a mostly white school, and white guys were not checking for me like at all. That did
Oh,
not
my
turn me
bad.
into walking around with some kind of hatred or bias towards all white men. When I got to college and met different people, my experience changed. So when people try to excuse this behavior by saying you don't know what he went through with Black women, it's like, okay, but at some point you have to grow past that. You don't
They are fire. They are fire, though. I'm not
take
gonna
one
lie.
experience and project it
Nah,
onto an
Chris got
entire
it.
group of
He
people.
got it
I don't
tied
know
for
where his
sure.
bias comes from, but I don't think it's quote
Well,
unquote
like, making,
just a preference.
Like, not them getting
Now,
the
just my
club,
closing
that's
thoughts
fucked.
on all of this. At
That's
the end of the
fucked up.
day, I'm not here to tell anybody who they should or shouldn't date,
Yeah.
but I am going to call things how they look. When you have repeated patterns, repeated comments, and repeated situations that all point in the same direction, people are going to question it, and they have every right to. I gave two examples from the girl that came out and said no darkies allowed, and also the song that he
That's
made.
fucked
I'm
up.
pretty sure y'all are going to give me a bunch more examples of Chris Brown's colorism and his so-called preference for other women that he said over the years.
I'm
These
starting to
conversations
notice.
come from years of observing the same behavior over and over again. And again, I don't want to hear the excuse of you don't know what Black women did to him, because that's That's not just how it works. Personal experiences are personal. You don't turn that into a blanket mindset towards an entire group. That's something you have to work through. Chris Brown is talented. Nobody is denying that. But talent does not mean people have to ignore everything else. And I think people are starting to separate the two and really think about what they're supporting and why, even outside of Chris Brown. So that is it for this video. I hope you all...
That was fire, but you know, I thought it wasn't that deep. I mean, look at me, bro. I never thought it was that deep until like she actually started saying some points. Like that's when I was like, oh shit. Okay. He might that ass have a problem though. Like what the fuck, CB? Nah, man. Well, come on. It's not. It is what it is. I think someone like CB gotta change. I'm not gonna lie. Like don't treat him like that. Don't treat the woman like that, man. It's bad. But what are we gonna do? These celebrities, and you're probably still gonna fill up their pockets even more. It is what it is. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, peace out, stay late.